Hey everyone, making a quick video today showing the add-ons that I use playing WoW and that I use also during hardcore. I don't usually make videos like this, but I thought I'd give it a go because there's some people out there, even though there's 100 people that have made these add-on things, there's always someone that has something in there that the other person doesn't. That's also pretty helpful. So I thought I'd make my own. But I'm going to start off with one that's normally in most of the add-on videos, which is Questie. Now Questie is really good because, as you can see, it shows like the quest locations for like hand-ins, accepts. I don't have any quests activated right now, but they usually show where the actual quest itself is. For example, if there will be like little swords if there's a kill quest, there will be little bags if it's like a loot, or if there's something that you have to pick up for a quest that isn't dropped from a mob, it'll be a little cog icon. So it shows all that stuff, which I find really handy. There's also a tracker that you can use that will show the level of the quest. So say if it's like a red quest, yellow quest, green, all that kind of stuff. So you make sure you hand in the quest before it goes grey so you can get like the maximum reward XP wise. It also shows like the location, just in case you don't know the location of the quest. It'll have the area names, say like Duskwood, Westfall, Elwyn Forest, something like that. But it's actually it's one everyone uses. It's not like a hidden gem or anything like that. But I think it's a standard. You need to have Questie if you need help leveling and stuff like that. There's also one that I don't know if many people use. I was looking for something like this for a long time because I just was frustrated with. So you know when you're doing professions, me personally, I never knew if an item I picked up was for a profession and what profession it would be used for. So I downloaded a add-on called ItemTooltipProfessionIcons, which if you go to your bag and hover over something, so the copper ore, it's not for a copper ore apparently. Let's use rough stone. So you see the little icons, there's the blacksmithing icon and the engineering icon. So that's what the item itself is used for profession wise. It also has it for stuff that you need to cook. So you got the cooking icon. Again, for the gems, blacksmithing and engineering. It will also do it for stuff like alchemy, um, tailoring, anything like that. Not just the professions you're actually using yourself, as any profession. So if you know, for me, I kind of used it so I can pick up stuff and I know I can sell it on the auction house as well because people need it for professions. Kind of helps make a bit of gold in that way as well. But not a very massive add-on, but I think it helps out a ton for me especially. We also got, while my inventory is up here, the classic. Well, it's not called classic, but it's, everyone uses it. Bagnon, basically. There are a bunch of other bag add-ons out there that are pretty good as well. So if you don't get one with Bagnon, there's also one called Addy Bags, which is pretty good. But I just kind of got on with Bagnon a lot better. The thing I like about it is the not auction, the auto tidy button, where it just tidies it all for me. Because I find, for me especially, I don't like messy bags. I like everything organized, but I don't want to spend the time organizing it myself. So I just hit the auto organize button and it does it all for me because I'm too lazy. There's also a search bit thing. So if you've got a massive bag and there's a specific item you're looking for you can't see, you can always search it up and it will pop up. It normally highlights it. So if I show you, so if I do copper, it highlights it right there for you, which is really nice and handy. And let's see. Let's do. You can just type pick. It's not really complicated. It's pretty easy to understand, but it's very useful. It also shows you. I think you can look at your other characters' stuff. I don't really use this much because I don't see why I need to. But you can click on any alt character you have, and it shows their inventory. So you can be like, oh, I wonder what that character has, so I can mail something over to myself. And it shows their gold as well and all that kind of stuff. It's really handy. Not a function I really use, but people that like to mail stuff between alts quite a lot, but they don't know which alt character has that specific item, it's really good to use. So there's a lot of functions and there's a lot of settings you can go into. Say if you open it up, that's Questie, that isn't Bagnon. I don't know why that opened up Questie. So you can lock the frames, include guild banks. I don't really include guild banks because it with the Blizzard UI it's really buggy, I find. But the bag UI itself is pretty good. But there's yeah, quite a bit you can do with the settings and fiddle around with like colors and stuff like that. At least I thought you could. That might be Lich King, but it is, whether it's classic, Lich King, or retail, Bagnon's a solid add-on to use. There's another one that's really good for, I would say it's pretty good for hardcore as well. It's called GatherMate2. So if you're doing hardcore, I think hardcore would be really important because you want to get your profession stuff whenever you can to progress as far as you can. So for me, I'm doing mining, and you can import the data, and it shows copper vein locations all over the map where they could potentially spawn. Now it does the same for, if I go into the settings, I can show you. It does the same for herbalism. So it's just here. So if you go to minimap, it's not in minimap, it is in filters. You can do fishing, herbalism, mining, and it also shows you treasure locations as well. So where treasures can spawn, which is also really helpful for hardcore because, sometimes you can find like a really good piece of gear in the actual treasure chests themselves. And all you do is you would tick whatever you want. So for me, I got mining ticked. And then you go to import. Now there's another part that you need with GatherMate, which I'll show you. I think it's just GatherMate2 imports, but I'll double check that for you. Again, it will be in a description, so if you aren't too sure, it'll be down there. But you go to the import section and you click import. You can also make profiles like you can with most other add-ons. So you can make one, say for like mining, herbalism, anything like that, fishing, whatever you want to use it for, really. Let me double check that for you. So if you go to add-ons, where is it? GatherMate. I've got a lot of add-ons that I don't actually use. I'm just going through like the main ones that are actually important. It's called GatherMate2 Data, which is what you would need to go with the actual add-on itself just to get the import section to work properly. And the last one I'm only doing 5 today. But if people want to see more, I have a lot more that I could put on there. But the last one I do is one I use all the time. It's called Quartz. Now, Quartz I find really helpful because you can have, it has a lot of stuff built in with it. So mainly I use it for nameplates. So it shows the nameplate. It also shows so you've got the nameplate, it's got a cast that you can change the color for. So say you got casting, and if it's interruptible, you can make it a different color so you're capable of interrupting the actual cast time. If not, you can make it red if it's not able to be interrupted. So there's a lot of options you can do. There's also a swing timer, which can be quite useful. I think it comes in handy for people like paladins that want to do steel twisting. I actually haven't done steel twisting myself, but it's something handy, like warriors as well. Swing times are a very useful thing to know for certain people. You can also do stuff for your pets, targets. There's so many options that you can go through. It's definitely worth going through once you download it. Like I always say make a profile that you would call, I always call mine main, and then that way any alt character you make, you can apply that same profile to that character. Got a latency bar that shows like the latency of your spells. But what I like about this is for the mobs, it will have next to their name, like their health bar, will be a percentage on their aggro, and it will change color as well. So depending on if say you're a DPS and you got aggro, it will be red if they're aggro towards you, and it's say 100% because it's a bad thing. But if you're a tank, it will be green, say 100% aggro, because you want the aggro being a tank. So it's actually really helpful for stuff like that as well. That's why I kind of recommend you can do it for like NPCs and other players as well, where you can have their like names changed and like the design of the names and stuff like that. But that's a bit, that's too much hassle for me. I like to keep it simple. I want to kill enemies and I want to kill them efficiently. And I want it to look nice too. There's some other nameplate ones out there that I think the nameplates look a bit gross, but I kind of like the design on the nameplates for this one. I'll quickly see if I can find an enemy out there just to show you what they would look like as same as standard Blizzard UI. If they're a non-hostile enemy, it'll be yellow named plate. If they're hostile, it'll be red. But yeah, there's the 5 that I'm going to use for today that I think are quite helpful. In fact, I might actually do a bonus one. So all these add-ons I was telling you about are free add-ons. There's one more add-on that you could use, but it has a paywall behind it that I don't see a lot of people talk about. It's a really good add-on. Let me quickly show you the nameplate. If I get close enough. So yeah, it's like this there. And then it's got the little spikes coming out of it saying that I've just taken aggro. And if you were in a group, it would display the percentage of aggro compared to you and your team, which is really helpful. But the paid add-on is one called Zygor. It's a monthly payment, where I know there's one called Rested XP, which I think is a one-off payment. But the good thing about Zygor is it has a bunch of other stuff that Rested XP doesn't have, as far as I know. So if I quickly bring that up, go to the settings. So you've got stuff like leveling. So they have human leveling, night elf, basically whatever you pick, it will automatically start up that leveling for that character. There's also dungeon guides as well. Gold makings things you can also do for farming, gathering, crafting, or if you just want to use the auction house. They also have profession stuff. So if I show you, for example, mining, if I want to do mining and I want to get specifically copper, you can load it up like that, and it will give you the map and your mini map. There's a little line. So I'm pretty sure this is going to take me to Elwyn Forest, because apparently that's the best place to mine. So it shows you the mining route to efficiently get the most out of the route itself, which I find really helpful. There's also within the add-on, if you go into settings, there's an item score which you can pick, and it will, every time you get gear, it will tell you if it's an upgrade or if it's not an upgrade, and what kind of stats you're getting and benefiting from that. You can also go down to Talent Advisor and you can pick options on leveling, and it will tell you the best talents to pick and the order to pick them in while you're leveling for each class. And there's also one that isn't leveling, just max level, like what kind of talents you would like to use. You can also set up profiles to keep what you would like set, so you can use it against all the other alts. You can use it for them as well. It also has automation, so if you hand in, it will automatically hand in and accept the quest for you. It won't accept, I mean, there's an option, but it won't accept quest rewards for you, but it will suggest the best quest reward to take. There is an option you can put it on where it will automatically take that quest reward, but I kind of try to avoid that, because I think it's a bit, if there's one chance where I don't want that item for some reason, I don't want it to take it for me. It will also take you to suggested flight points. It's basically, it does so much stuff for you. You basically can play this game brain dead, but you don't have to. You can, restrict it to where whatever way you like to play the game and how you have fun playing it. There's also like the add-on TomTom has. There's a little what's it say, arrow that you can use that will take you to the quest as well. But that's a little bonus one because it's a paid for. I don't want to add a paid for one into the actual video because people don't want to spend money, and that's fair enough. I don't like spending money either, to be honest. But I appreciate you all for stopping by, clicking on this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps out. I also stream on YouTube when I can, because I currently have a job, but whenever I can I will stream, which I've been doing classic WoW hardcore, my first ever attempt live, which I also post on my YouTube after the stream ends. But again, I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Treat yourself if you haven't already, and I might see you in my streams hopefully.